What is up, guys? I'm your friendly neighborhood web war fanatic, and we are back with another LORCANA video. And today I got an interesting discussion video, and I want to raise a question: is Ruby Amethyst still the best deck in LORCANA heading into set 8 right now? And yeah, I personally still think it is. Let me know down in the comments if you agree or disagree, but I'll be making my case why I think this is still one of the best decks in the entire game, if not the best deck. So how this deck came to be is my wife, she loves Sea the Empower Sibling here, and she had a deck with it, but she wanted to kind of change her deck and make a new deck, so she asked me to help her out. So we just went for a very budget, like cheap deck here for Ruby Amethyst, using a lot of the older cards like chernadogs, a Magic Room, just your basic, Amethyst package with the bounce stuff like the snake and the fox. And we didn't want to put a lot of money into it, so you guys see here, it's only $67, super budget friendly type of deck here. And then I wanted to test the deck on Pixelborn Connect. So I went online, and then it did really well. It just kind of kept winning, and we played a lot during the times where people were practicing for their set champs. So we played all the meta decks, like Steve's Song. We played a Ruby Sapphire. We played other Ruby Amethyst decks, but a more modern version with a Peter Pan, a Shadow Finder with a bunch of evasives, like that evasive Moana, the Maui Half Sharks. This deck does not have either Maui, the Hero to All or the Half Shark. We're very, very low to the ground and kind of more of an aggro type of deck right here. But we're able to still do pretty well. And I was playing on Pixelborn and actually got on a 15-game win streak. We got to gold rank, and then we just kept on playing, and then I got all the way to platinum there. And I had a really good time playing this deck here. So yeah, I'm gonna go do the deck breakdown, and I'll showcase the deck. I record some of the games, so I'll be just kind of showing some random games I played across that 15-game win streak that we play with this deck against all types of meta decks. So the deck here, we run a ton of one drops. How many one drops do we have? I believe we have, let's see, we have 14 one drops, and that was by design. My wife likes to, she likes to play a one drop on turn 1 and just start questing out really early. So we have, of course, the 4 chernadogs, 4 Diablo, and then 4 Magic Broom. So I think that's just, almost in any, or not any, but a lot of aggro aiming this decks, you want to have these creatures right here. So every single game, I think I had a one drop every single game that I played. Yeah, because I'm always trying to mulligan into it. There were a few times where the top 7 cards, I did not get any one drops. I'll just ditch the whole hand and try to draw 7 more. And I've never missed a one drop here. We also have, so this is a little bit of a fun tech here. We have 2 copies of the Moana Self-Taught Sailor. And I also do want to add, a lot of these cards are from the older sets. So Moana is from set 6. That's a newer set. Diablo is from set 6. And I think the only other card that we have that's pretty new is the Library here, which is from set 5. Every other card in this deck is set 4 or earlier, right? So a lot of just old cards here, which is probably why the deck is so cheap. But yeah, so we have the Moana here, Self-Taught Sailor. So it's a 1-drop, 3/2. This character can't challenge unless you have a captain character in play. Well, this is just kind of a bluff because you guys can probably see here, we have no captain characters in his entire deck. But having this 3/2 body just quest out every single turn puts a lot of pressure on the opponent. And usually if they don't use like an action, they'll have to actually sacrifice a character to take out the Moana just because she is doing 3 damage. So most, 1 drops, 2 drops, and 3 drops will have more, will have 3 willpower or less. So they actually get taken out by the Moana. And a lot of times it'll be like a 2-drop that will like run into the Moana and sacrifice itself, which is a really, really good value because Moana is also questing for us. So she gets us 1 lore and also takes out a 2-drop. And then she also applies board pressure. So when we have her down in turn 1, a lot of people don't know that, well, no one will know on Pixelborn Connect that I don't have any other captains in this deck. So the Moana can never ever challenge, but they said to be wary because if I do play a captain, they don't know that I don't have in my deck, then Moana can challenge, right? So they can't play like a character that will just be easy taken out, like a broom or something like that, and then quest with the broom. So she applies pressure, even to like Calhoun's, right? Like you can't just quest with the Calhoun. You either want the Calhoun to take the Moana out, but you don't want the Moana to take out an opposing Calhoun. So yeah, just a very fun card to just put down on turn 1. And then the big reason why she's there is she works really well with the Flynn Rider Frenemy right here, right? So just at the start of your turn, if you have a character in play with more attack than each opposing character, gain 3 lore. This is a pretty old card, but yeah, so we have this card here. And then if we play the Moana on 1, we can play a Flynn on 2, and then the opponent will need a character with at least 3 attack to not have Flynn proc you, 3 lore every single turn. I think most games that I played though, we went with what Spessy calls the Shin Miri line. and that is when you play a one drop on turn one, and on turn two you play two more one drops. So we're just putting like chernadogs on turn one, and on turn two we're playing like a Diablo and a Broom, or like vice versa, or we're just sometimes I just play a Diablo if I have a lot of other Diablos. Turn two I just play two more Diablos. Yeah, so then we can just really start to quest out and quest for a lot. And I really like the Shin Mirror line specifically for this type of deck, for Amethyst deck with the Diablos, Chernadogs, and Magic Brooms. Even though they don't quest for two, they only quest for one. It's really good because they draw you back cards, right? So whenever you do that, one drop on turn one, and you do two one drops on turn two, you're also inking, two cards, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards gone from your hand. And your hand size is very depleted at that point. But when you're playing these guys right here, like the Chernadogs, after you quest, you can draw a card. If Diablo's taken out, you draw a card. Magic Broom, you play a character, you can banish it to draw a card, right? So all these characters kind of refund themselves. So it's very, very beneficial to try to play the two one drops on turn one. And that's usually what I shoot for. If I don't get that, I'll probably get the Moana and then the Flynn. Sometimes I don't get either, but I think most games, because we have so many one drops, 14 one drops, we usually get into that. And a lot of my opponents say, man, you got a lot of one drops just like playing against the deck, not really even like knowing how many I got. I'm like, yeah, I got a lot because there's a ton of one drops in this deck. Okay, then we just have the basic bounce package here, right? With the Madam Mim Snake for the 2-drop. We have the Fox, just really good. We have 4 of those guys. We have 4 crabs right here. I think the crab is like really essential to help us take out locations. If the opponent gets like a nasty location or something like that, right? Because if we play a crab and a fox, that's already 7 damage there, and it has rush. So I think that's key for that. Specifically because we don't have Maui here at all, right? Without that card, we really want something else to give us attack to help take out opposing characters that are, that are big bodies and locations. Then we have the Sisu for a 3-drop here, right? So this is a very basic card here. Then Born Warrior, she gets +1 attack for each card in opponent's hands. If he plays on turn 3, it's pretty early game. She'll probably have at least like 4 or 5 attack, and then she'll also proc the Flynn Rider as well. That's just a very basic combo. We have 4 goats here. Of course, the goat is so good to balance with the fox and the snake. We have 4 rabbits as well. We have 1 copy of Lady Tremaine. So the reason why I run just 1 here is because I find myself often cluttering with uninkables. So this deck right here only has 11 uninkable cards, but I'm often still mulliganing into a B prep and a Tremaine. So they just kind of sit there, right? If their uninkables were lower, like lower cost, like maybe like 3 or lower, the rabbit's still 4, but if they're much lower, you could definitely have a lot more uninkables in the deck. But because they're all like 4-drop or higher, they run a risk of cluttering your hand, and we really want to be inking every single turn because we're drawing so many cards with this deck. We want to just have the ink every single turn. And we also have the Sisu, the Empower Symbol here for the shift to take out, other opposing aggro decks. We have 4 copies of the Brawl here. This deck right here is a very basic type of deck. So we have no evasives, right? It's a very simple deck to play and pilot. No evasives in the deck. So if the opponent has an evasive like a Genie or a Peter Pan Shadow Finder, we're kind of screwed until turn 7 whenever we can play a B prep. So before then, the Brawl is kind of the only way to take out those evasive characters. And most of the time, evasive characters have very low stats. So the Brawl will be able to hit them. There are, some higher stat evasive characters, but they're usually higher cost. So we'll usually be close to the B prep whenever that happens. So we can hopefully just B prep those bigger evasive characters. Also, we have the 4 friends on the other side here, and we also have 4 copies of the library. So library is crazy. I got this several times, right, where you play the library and then you move like 2 Chernadogs to the library. You have them both quest. They banish, and then they draw a card when you banish Chernadogs. And then if a character is at the library and they're banished, you draw another card. So basically, you're questing for 2. You banish both Chernadogs and you draw 4 cards, which is completely insane. Yeah, on Pixelborn Connect, you can't see my hand. So my opponent often asks me how many cards I have in my hand. I'm like 5, 6, 7, and they're like, man, still. And yeah, we're just kind of laughing back and forth because it's pretty ridiculous. The Amethyst draw engine with these lower costed creatures like Diablo, Chernadogs, and Broom, which already draw you card, but then you put them in the library. So each time they're banished, with their corresponding effect, you can draw 2 cards instead. It's just insane. Add that with the rabbit. The main reason why we have the rabbit over the Genie here is just because more draw power, and the rabbit is just way cheaper too as well, right? I don't have any Genies. They're way too expensive. But the rabbit here, super duper cheap card. You draw when it enters play and when it leaves play. So if your opponent bounces it, or if your opponent banishes it, you still get another draw power in there. And this is really a battle of attrition. If we're playing like the more late game decks, even though we're playing like a Ruby Sapphire deck, and I do have a Ruby Sapphire game later on here. I played a couple, but I only recorded one of the games. I wish I recorded some other ones because they're a lot closer. But yeah, I against those type of decks, we basically still win because we draw so many cards, and without Flowershim, they just can't keep up anymore with the draw engine here. So we're both B prepping, right? Like I'm B prepping, they're also B prepping. But because after we B prep, we get so many more cards, taking out the Diablo, drawing a card, taking out the Rabbits, drawing more cards, right? Just the Amethyst package is just so good. So yeah, that is the deck breakdown here. And then let's hop over to the gameplay. All right, so we are on 2-speed here, and then we're on Pixelborn Connect, and I'll just be narrating over some games that we played over here. Okay, so we're shuffling our deck. I do not remember by the playmats any of the ink colors here, so we're just kind of see what's happening. But yeah, in a blind matchup, we definitely want to just try to get a bunch of one drops, and mulliganing into the one drops is going to be the best thing. If I draw any uninkables, I'll usually send them back unless I have like a bunch of one drops and I have like one rabbit, then I'll keep the rabbit. But other than that, we'll usually just send back rabbits as well, send back B preps, send back the one Lady Tremaine. So I mulligan 2 cards here, and I am on the plate, and then we shuffle up, and my opponent mulligans as well, and they also shuffle up. Yeah, this deck is it's a lot of fun because I think there's a lot of fun decisions that you can make that really impact the game, how you play it, and then you don't have that many options. It's a very simple deck, very low to ground, so you're able to quest fast and end games pretty quickly, but you're also able to control in the late game, right? This deck works really well in late game. So we ink a broom, and then we play a broom. Okay, that's just a pretty good start there, getting our one drops down. And then my opponent's playing Amethyst there, inking a crab and playing a Diablo. It's back over to our turn. So the broom is going to have better board presence than the Diablo here, so I just quest out, and I'm not going to banish it probably, because the Diablo can't take it out, and it can't play a rush character on turn 2, hopefully. Ink a library, play a snake, bounce the broom back, and then we just have a bigger body on the board. So I think this game, I wasn't able to get the double one drops or a Flynn, otherwise I would have played them instead of the a snake. My opponent inked an emerald card, and they discard Hypnotize to shift Diablo, sing friends, draw 2. Okay, so that Diablo is going to be super duper nasty because we have no evasive in the deck, right? So we really can't take it out. And they play no Diablo here. So whenever I draw, they draw for that Diablo. But hopefully I mulligan for a Brawl as well. And yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, so I did have the Brawl in hand, and I spent 3 to play a Brawl, take out Diablo, quest for 1 with the snake there. Okay, so my opponent kind of evened out with Diablo. They drew a card, but it got taken out right away. But it also drew more cards with the friends because it sunk. So that Diablo has Challenger 2, I believe, and it can take out the snake. I want to do that because it's evasive, and I can't take it out. My opponent doesn't know that. They play Hypnotize, so I discard a card, and they draw 1. So I discard Rabbit there. I think I probably have another Rabbit in hand, which is why I just tossed it. They sing Sudden Chill, so I lose another card, and I toss the Fox here. One thing against discard decks is that we're drawing so much that we just let them discard us because we draw back, right? Like we just play Rabbit here, we're going to draw another card. And then whenever the Rabbit leaves play, I get to draw another card as well, right? So it's just very unfair. And we have the board control right here with 2 characters. My opponent just has the 1. So I pass it back over to my opponent. And then we want to make sure we ink every turn. Sometimes I still get unlucky and I have no inkables in my hand despite only having the 11 uninkable cards, and we have to miss a turn of inking. That's really, really, really bad in this deck. We want to keep drawing cards and inking every single turn. That's going to be a key thing. I think my opponent just hard cast a Friends there, so you draw more cards. It looks like they have 5 in hand. They ink a Bruno, and then come on, take out my snake. It's going to keep questing. So like we're putting on that pressure where it's like we're just gonna keep questing and don't take it out. And then do they quest or do they take it out here? Yeah, they challenge the snake. So it works out for me because I can't take out that Yahoo anyways, so I'm fine trading to snake that I requested twice. So it's back over to our turn. We draw for turn and then deciding what to do here. Rabbit is questing, so go up to 4 lore. We ink a crab, and then spend 2 for a snake, bounce the rabbit, draw another card. Can I play one more thing down? A Sisu here would be perfect. We got Sisu, awesome. That's perfect. Yep. And then we have 5 ink. I'll pass it over to my opponent. Yeah, so right now we're just putting a lot of pressure. My opponent, plays a rabbit, they draw a card, but not really doing anything to handle the board state. And the Sisu looks like they have 6 cards in hand, so Sisu's 7-4 right now. So Flynn will go crazy right now. Yeah, so against Amethyst Emerald, they don't really have as much board control because they don't have the steel package to do damage, so we can just control the board. We have a pretty good shot at winning this game. So my opponent passes, they play Diablo there with 1 quest. Oh no, I'm gonna sing Friends with the Sisu, just draw back up the cards that they discarded. And then we spend 4 for a rabbit. Yeah, we play that rabbit back down from the Madam Mim, drawing back up. Yeah, so even though they discard some cards from hand with the Hypnotize with Sun Chill, we're pretty much, back up to a healthy hand size right now. We ink a Friends even, so I'm just worried about the Ursula Deceiver of all to, or Deceiver to discard this song, so I ink it, and I spend 1 for Moana. Yeah, I would have just hard cast it if I could have, or sung it again, but the snake can't sing it because it's not high enough cost. So my opponent sings a Friends as well. So we're kind of doing the same thing, just drawing a lot of cards, but I'm also kind of controlling the board and questing out as I'm doing that. So opponent plays a fox, they bounce the rabbit, draw a card, and it has rush. So it takes out the Sisu here for a trade, which is not the best trade for me, but I'm okay with that because they also have to lose a character. They play the Ursula there, yeah. So you see our hand, we have 2 cards left in hand, a snake and a crab. So yeah, the snake there is going to go crazy because I can bounce the rabbit, draw a card, play back down, draw another card, and get back up to a very healthy hand size. So we're going to draw for turn here when my opponent ends, and we'll have 3 cards in our hand. So we've got 6 ink to play with. So now if we get a B prep, we can play it down if the board ever gets nasty. Like if my opponent ever shifts that Ursula, then we can do that. We do want to kind of prioritize it if it's questing to take it out, just because of my opponent to prevent the shift. But if they do shift, hopefully we can quest out for more and draw into a B prep. We don't have any Dragonfires. We have no like single target type of stuff. It's all just B prep. Very simple type of deck. We need the B prep if we want to take out the opposing characters, but we're drawing so many cards. I don't think there might be one game where I never drew a B prep, but pretty much every other game we're drawing B preps. So I play 3 for a crab. Oh, I drew into the library, which is really good here. So we quest out, and then we're gonna move 1 person to the library. So if they're taken out, we can draw. So I move the snake there, because if a rabbit's taken out, I draw anyway, so I just do the snake. And if Moana's taken out, I mean, she does 1 drop, so I'm fine with her. And then I think I have 0 cards in hand. Did I ink? I think I inked the snake, right? Yeah, I inked the snake. Play the crab in the library. Yeah, so 0 in hand is really good. So if they discard, there's nothing to discard. And we have just complete control of the board right now. And we're going to draw a lot more cards if they defeat our characters, right? So it's my opponent's turn. They're going to ink a You're Welcome. 5 for Elsa. Exert the crab. And they take out the Moana there. Taking 3 damage on the Elsa. They play that Evasive Diablo with the Challenger. And then, yeah, their bodies are just a little bit too weak to do anything else. And they're down to, it looks like they have 2 or 3 cards in their hand. They pass over. So we're going to get 1 lore with the library. And we're up to 9 now. So we just see, and then our bigger characters, like my opponent can't even quest with the Ursula or Diablo. Because I just take them out. So I play the Sisu here for 3, spend the 3 ink to move over to the library, and I just quest out. So go to 12 here and not pass. So very easy decisions at this point in the game right now, right? We can just keep on questing. My opponent plays a rabbit, which is, good for me because they're wasted 4 ink to play that, and they're just drawing more cards. I think they're just digging for something like maybe the big Ursula or other ways to take care of our board. But with just Amethyst and Emerald, that's not the biggest. There's no like hard board, clearing type of effects or cards in that deck. So with this deck, I really know all I want to do is just commit to the board as much as possible and go as wide as possible here, which is definitely an option with this deck because of all of our 1 drops and our lower characters. So it's my opponent's turn, and I think they're thinking what to do. So are they challenging into the library? Yes. So they challenge Elsa, Diablo, and Fox, and they take out the library there. Yeah, I think that's a good play for them. And then, oh yeah, they played a Fox to bounce the rabbit, so they drew a card with that. So that is their ink. They ink and then they pass back over. So even though we have no cards in hand, we still always have the rabbit, and our lore is pretty high now. So we play a crab, give the rabbit +3, challenger 3, so I take out the fox so I can draw a card. We just want to take out their bodies, their big bodies that can do stuff to us. And we drew another library here, so we play it back down for 3, move Sisu there, just because she quests for 2, so I want benefit if they take her out. And we quest out, get to 16 here. And yeah, I think this is pretty much near the end of the game. So it's back over to my opponent, and they're just thinking on what to do right here. So they ink, they play a Diablo, play a Prince John, and then I think they under the sea, so that's actually pretty cool. So it's just a Sisu now. Fortunately for me, because they emptied out their hand, so Sisu's the only one with less than 2. But yeah, they sing together under sea, so returns all my characters with 2 attack or less to the bottom of my deck, and then they take out the crab there, it looks like. Yeah, with the challenger Diablo. So it's quest out, go to 19. And I play a B prep, yeah. So we top deck a B prep there, yeah. We just play it, and then we have the library that just gets us 1 lord to end the game. And that's a pretty common line with this deck. Play rabbit draw, and then there's pretty much no way they can you're welcome, but then we draw 2 more cards if they do that on the library. Yeah, so then they pass it back over, we get 1 more library, and then that is the game there for game 1. So this was actually the game that brought me over to the gold rank in Pixelborn. I tried to I tried to climb it before, like climbing the ladder on Pixelborn, and then Pixelborn, I don't know how to it updated, and then I couldn't get back in for months. So I kind of stopped playing Lorcana during that time as well. So you guys can see in my older videos, we only got to silver, playing not that many games with Blurple. I think that was around set 4 or 5. And then yeah, I just started playing back again here. And then yeah, this deck is just insane right now, you know, going into set 8. And yeah, so we're on to game 2, and I mulligan 4 cards here. So I probably have some 1-drops. That's probably what I'm keeping. I probably want to try to get into like a brawl or something like that in case they have that Diablo. And then my opponent mulligans too. So we're gonna shuffle up here. And yeah, I think Pixelborn is pretty cool. It's cool to be able to talk to people like all over the world and play so many interesting decks. And I love playing people that are practicing for their set champs, because yeah, I don't go to set champs, but it's a good way for me to practice and play against them. And Lorcana is just a really fun game. All right, so we're just shuffling there. I wish I had like an automatic shuffler or something. And then we start with Ink and Diablo, and then we play Moana. So that tells me I probably have the Flint, right? If I play Moana. Sometimes I just still play 2 1-shots on turn 2 with the Moana leading, just because if they take the Moana out, I'm fine with that. Like, she's a big buy that threatens their board. And then my opponent is playing Amber Steel, so that's cool with the Daisy there. I definitely cannot take out the Daisy until turn 3. We Ink of Friends. And we do 2 for Flynn. Yeah, we got the Flynn line there. So quest Moana. And then they need to do something. They need to play something like Fried Cans or Baboom to take out the Flynn or Moana hero. So we're just going to get a lot lower. So my opponent's turn here. And what are they going to do? They're deciding what to ink. They end up inking a Kita. And they play Mr. Smee. And then do they quest? Yeah, they quest 2, so we do Daisy Trigger, and I gotta go, so I just add to my hand. Which is always good to get more ink and more cards. So we had the no Flynn Trigger, actually, because they play the Smee with 3 attack. So we don't get the 3 lore, unfortunately. Oh, never mind, yeah, the Smee there just counters the Moana. We ink a Magic Broom, and then we play a Fox. Did I forget the quest? I think I forgot the quest there with the Moana. And the Fox takes out the Daisy in one shot. And pass backwards to my opponent. Yeah, I think my opponent's playing pretty aggro, so we want to actually control a little bit. Our aggro is not going to be as fast as like hyper aggro decks, because they have 2 lore questers, and most of our questers are just 1 other than like the Sisu, right? So we still want to do a lot of control, which this deck works really well into the late game as well with those B preps, right? There are games where I got to like 10, 11, 12 ink, and this deck is still doing pretty good. Yeah, it's just crazy to have like such an aggro type of deck, but still work really well into the late game. I just find that so powerful. So I put in inks a Doors Mine, and then they play a Daisy for 1, and then they play I think that's Penny for 2, and Penny quest for 2. They have an effect. Oh yeah, the effect is to, I think it gives Smee resist 1, and I'm just asking what it does. So with the Smee with resist 1, Smee takes a damage if it's exerted at the end of your turn. You don't have a captain character, which they don't have, but the resist 1 prevents 1 damage, so the Smee stays fine. And then I get the Flynn trigger here because we have a Fox with 4 attack. I forgot that's the main reason. That's another reason I wanted to play the Fox there. So yeah, the Fox gives us 3 lore because we're the highest character on the table whenever our turn begins with Flynn Rider's effect. Fox will take out this mean, yeah, so I still want to control their board. And then I mean the Flynn is still the highest attack character right now. We ink the other Moana, we had that in our hand. We do 4/4, a goat. So we still want to keep that 4 cost character. We get one lord playing the goat, we'll pass over to my opponent. So even though we're trying to, you know, deal with my opponent's board and try to control, we're still able to gain a lot of lore with this deck with the Flynn and the Merlin goat, right? So it's pretty crazy that we're able to, you know, we're focusing on really challenging and managing my opponent's board, but then we're also able to just get free lore with the goat and Flynn and all those triggers are just getting passive lore. So my opponent is thinking they ink a penny and they play a Pluto with bodyguard. It's 5/5, crazy stats there. And if Pluto has damage, then and then Daisy trigger there, we got B prep, so it goes to bottom of our deck. So that was a little bit unfortunate, but that's definitely going to happen with this deck. So Pluto is 5/5. If it has a damage, it loses the attack, so it's only going to be 1/5. So we can just put damage on it, it'll be 1/5, but until then, it's a 5/5 body, which is pretty rough. So I think crab would be perfect here. Do I have the crab? We spent 3 for a crab, yeah. And I give Challenger 3 to the goat. So 7 damage takes out the Pluto 1 sweep trades, and I'll get a lore because goat left play. And then now I think I just had the Flynn take out the penny. I'm okay if the Flynn doesn't get me a 3 lore if it gets taken out, but it'll force them to not quest with Daisy, and they'll have to challenge into Flynn if they want to do that, which I'm completely okay with. So that's kind of like a little bait there. I think a Diablo play a second Flynn anyway. Okay, so never mind. I had another Flynn anyways. It didn't matter. So the Flynn's proc here didn't get me 6 lore. I don't think it will proc though. So take out Flynn with the Daisy. Oh, one of them's gonna proc. Because at 4 ink, you usually have a lot more bigger bodies to play. But yeah, so they heal the Daisy for 2 and then draw 2 cards with Rapunzel. But now, because the user ink for Rapunzel for the card draw, they don't have that highest highest character, or the character with the highest attack. So now the crab has 3 attack, which is the highest on the table. So whenever our turn begins, Flynn's going to gain us another 3 lore. So we're keeping up with my opponent that's questing for 2, going up to 8. And we're going to get up to 9 here, which is just insane, guys. I can't go over how much like this blows my mind. So my opponent, I think they're thinking on what to ink here. They ink a Lawrence and pass back lore. They have, I think, 2 cards in hand there. So we draw for turn. We get 3 with the Flynn trigger, go up to 9 lore. We have 5 ink to play with. Definitely want to ink here and get to at least 6. We're playing a brawl. We're just going to brawl the Rapunzel here. Yeah, because, I mean, Daisy will at least get us a card. And then we do 1 for chernadogs. We quest 1 with the crab. And then I think I'm thinking on Flynn if I should quest with him. I just go ahead and quest. We just go super aggressive here. I'm okay if they challenge it to Flynn, try to take it out. So we actually did not ink there because I have 1 card in hand. I spent a lot of the cards in my hand, which is not the best, but I think I'm feeling pretty confident, which is why I'm not inking and just playing that churn box instead. I think I'm just thinking, okay, maybe I can just quest with a churn box and then draw another card by banishing it and then try to do that. Yeah, so they played a Let's Storm Region, take out Flynn. So I'm glad that I quested with it anyways, because even if it wasn't exerted, they could take it out with Storm Region. They got Cinderella. They play Tiana here for 3. So Tiana's pretty nasty. If she's exerted and any of my characters attacks, I have to either spend 3. Oh, so I get a Sisu on the top of my deck with the Daisy. So now they know I have a Sisu. And I remember the last card in my hand now. It was a Sisu. So I have 2 of the big uninkable Sisus in my hand right now. And I draw for turn. So that's why we didn't ink. Yeah, and then drawing Sisu. It stinks because now my opponent knows I have a Sisu in my hand. But I had a secret one in my hand that they didn't know about. But since we have just 2, it doesn't matter that we had 2. They know I have at least 1. So right here, I play a library. I can move turn box straight to library, quest, and I draw 2 more cards. So now we're back up to 4 cards in hand, which is really, really good. We ink the friends, move crab to the library, and then we pass. So I think I have 3 cards in hand now, and then I have the library, which is great. And we have 2 big Sisus, up to 6 ink. So if I get to 8 ink, I can play the big Sisu, and it will pretty much take out everything, right? Because they have pretty low attack characters. The Tiana does 1 and 2 the crab. They take 3 damage. They play Rapunzel, heal 3, and then just draw a bunch more cards, right? I'm okay with them drawing at this point because I wanted to kind of flood the board so that I can play the big Sisu and just take everything out. So it's back to our turn. We play the library. Or we get a Lord Library, I mean. And then we draw for turn. So Lawrence is 0/4, but if he has no damage, which each card does not have, he's 4/4. So big Sisu will not be taken out. Sisu only takes out everyone with 2 or less attack. So we're getting close to 8. we just brawl the Tiana so we don't have to trigger it. And then I'll quest for 1 with the crab. And then pass. Ah, no inking here. That tells me I probably drew into a B prep or a Tremaine. Yeah, because, yeah, I mean, we don't run that many uninkables, but I often get clever with uninkables. That's my biggest thing with LORCANA, is getting stuck with a bunch of uninkable cards. So opponent quest 2, they go to 14. A little bit scary here. And they play a big body Pluto here for bodyguard. This actually looks pretty bad for me. I don't know what, oh, but I drew a B prep, right? So that means that, yeah, I mean, for sure I drew a B prep because that's why I didn't ink. So then we just need to draw inkable here, which is very high chance, right? We don't have 11 inkables, so we drew 1 with the crab and we draw another card here. So 2 cards for sure is going to be 1 uninkable at least. And we need to ink and a B prep. So unfortunately, we do have to toss Diablo, which I didn't want to do, but yeah, play a B prep there. And then we're just going to get that past lore with the library every single turn. So hopefully we can ink again next turn and play the big Sisu, which would banish all their characters if they flood the board, which is what their aggro deck kind of wants to do. Yeah, so if we didn't draw a B prep, I think it would still be fine because then we could have inked that turn, inked again, and we'd be up to 8 ink where we could have played the Sisu, which would have done pretty much the same thing. But the B prep there works on 7. So to play Akita, they can't really do anything. And then they just pass. So they know I have the Sisu in hand here. I think they have 1 in hand. So I think we just ink, do 8 for Sisu, take out that Mulan. Because my opponent's getting pretty high on lore. And then we're just going to try to get the libraries to help us pass, like get enough lore there. It's getting a lot of lore here against a hyper aggro deck, which doesn't take out the opposing locations. They got a dock, which is really good for them. So they draw 2 cards from the dock. And then let's see what they're going to do. They also inked a storm, looks like, so that the dock, because when you play a dock, you discard all the cards in your hand and you draw 2. So you want to ink before you play a dock. And they just, swarm the board here with the dock and the Rapunzel. And they don't know I got another season in my hand that I've had since probably like turn 1 that I couldn't ink. Not since, yeah. So I have 8 ink here. I think I just play another season, right? It takes out the dock, the penny, and the Rapunzel. Yeah. And then I quest for 3, and we're up to 19 here. Yeah, so we're just gonna get the pass the lore with the library. I ink, move to library, and I pass. So my opponent, they top deck into a Lilo. Can't really do anything, quest, and then that is the next game here. All right, so let's jump over to the 3rd game here. And we are playing, oh, I remember this opponent. So I actually played him a couple of times. This guy is really cool. He has like a bunch of the enchanters from set champs there. It looks like the Rapunzel, the Baymax, and the Hero Hamada as well. And I played him like 5 times. We only recorded this one. I wish I recorded some other ones. So they have a lot of cool decks. They have like a Mushu deck. They have a Ruby Sapphire deck. They have an Emerald deck as well. I believe the one that I was able to record was the Mufasa deck. So they're playing Amber Ruby Mufasa here. Yeah, and I don't know that at the time that I'm playing it, but yeah, they switched around a couple times. So they're on the play here. They ink a Mulan and then play Mulan. Let's back over to our turn. So we ink a library, and then we play a chernadogs and pass back over to them. Yeah, so I want a chernadogs to potentially take out the Mulan or quest if I wanted to. They play a Gotho, and they all interplay with damage there, but they have very high stats, and they quest the Mulan, so go to 1 lore. So it's back over to our turn. We ink a snake. 2, 4. Okay, there's a Shimmery line. Going second though, but it's still good, I think. We have Chernadogs and Broom here, so we just swarm the board. And I think I made a mistake there. I should either challenge the Mulan or just quest the Chernadogs and manage to draw a card. But we went up there. I think I just want a little bit board presence. So my opponent inks and they just pass here. I think they don't have any 3 drops. So we ink a Fox. And then we play a Library. And then I'm forcing my opponent to either challenge into library or do something. They play Rapunzel, which is really good for them. So they draw 3 cards, healing that Gotho because it comes in with 3 damage. And they start probably attacking. No, yeah, probably attacking the library. Yeah, so 2 damage to library with the Mulan there. All right, so now this is the part where we can draw a bunch of cards. We know we're playing Ruby and Amber, so they don't have any hand manipulation stuff. So if I just draw a bunch of cards here, we're gonna be in a good situation. So I move the Broom into library, challenge Mulan, draw a card when the boom is banished. Yep. And I forgot to get the lore with the library there, so I just added there. So I move both chernadogs into the library and have them double quest. We're drawing 4 cards, which is insane. So I play Sisu here for 3, and I pass over to my opponent. So I think next, yeah, I prioritize getting a body down here because I do want something to help me control the board a little bit. My opponent has a lot of cards in hand with that Rapunzel drawing 3. So Inca Moana, spend 4 for a Prince Eric. So whenever he's banished, my opponent gets to banish one of my characters. So that he can run it in something and then banish another character if it gets banished. So they pass back over to me. I get lower with the library, and I think surely I'm going to move the chernadogs there. I don't see why I wouldn't do that. That is just so good to draw 4 cards. And then I'll basically just always have the cards in my hand, right? Because I'm not playing like a steel where they have like a whole new world or something like that. So I move chernadogs, quest, banish chernadogs, draw 2 with chernadogs and a library. And then, yeah, we have just so many cards in hand with the Amethyst, with the library. And Ruby gives us that control that we need with the B preps. We ink a crab, play a rabbit, and draw for the rabbit. Yeah, so I didn't put the other chernadogs there. I think I really wanted to just get the rabbit down and get rid of the uninkable from my hand, and I want another body. So that's probably why we used our ink to play a rabbit instead of getting the chernadogs down or questing it with the other chernadogs, just keeping the bodies on the table. My opponent plays a Maui, they take out the library. Oh man. So I probably should just quest with the chernadogs. I think that would have been the better play to get advantage of the library while I still have it, and I could always play Fox the next turn. And then my opponent, I think they pass over to me. And they ink a Surfer Stitch. So back over to my turn. I want to take out the Prince Eric, but I want to get full, not let them get full buy out of it, right? So Sisu takes out the Maui because they have 4 in hand, so they can just trade. Chernadogs will quest, banish, draw me 1 card, and the rabbit can take out the Prince Eric, and Prince Eric will probably take out the rabbit with this effect, but rabbit already has 2 damage, only 1 life left, so it's really, really good value. The Prince Eric is just doing 1 damage basically to us to take out the rabbit, and then we draw for the rabbit. So we ink a brawl now up to 6 ink. My opponent skipped inking for a turn, I think. We play a goat, gain lore, and we pass it back over. Yeah, I don't know what my hand is here, guys, but it's gotta be like crazy. So they quest out. I think I gotta have like they Tremaine take out the goat and I gain lore. Like I gotta have like at least 5 cards in my hand, I think, with all those draws. My opponent passes backward to me, and I think they have 4 cards in hand, so I feel like a B prep would be good here, but they still have 4 cards in hand, so they could just swarm board again. But let's see. So we don't B prep here. We're spending 3 for another library. And I think that's got to be like the 3rd library in this game, because we inked a library, and then we played one earlier that they took out. We inked the brawl, so up to 7. And then we're doing 4 for another goat. So just get a lore with the goat, and I pass it backward to my opponent. So not sure what the plan is here. Maybe I'm trying to bait them out to play more characters before we B prep. So play a Mulan there. Spend 3 to play a Dalmatian, and then its effect, if it's a character card, they can spend ink to see the top card of the deck, and it says the character can add it to your hand, and they just quest out here, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I think I B prep here. Yeah, I think we bait them out a little bit. They played 2 more characters, so if we didn't have the B prep, it's really good for them because they can probably like quest out for the win. We sing here with the goat, get some more value out of it before it goes away. And then I want to ink and move the goat to the library before B prep, right? So we get another card draw. Nope, we just B prep here. Okay, so we take out the goat, we get a lore, and then we just clear the board. They still have 4 cards in their hand, which is not great. But I think why I did that is because I can ink a card and play 1-drop. Yeah, there's so many 1-drops, I'd rather just get another body out than draw an extra card, because I probably have a lot of cards in my hand anyways. So play a Diablo there with our last ink, going up to 8 ink. And then they played Rapunzel and draw more cards. So my opponent got a lot of Rapunzel procs here. They're keeping up with our card draw, just having tons of cards in their hand. And then the Inca Sisu. So I'm not sure if my opponent runs B prep, because a lot of Mufasa decks don't run it because you want a lot of characters for the Mufasa and the Dalmatian to hit. So I'd spend 1 to move Diablo into the library, quest for 1. And then we just hardcast Friends here for 3, draw some more cards. Just getting tons of card draw. We ink a Flynn Rider, going up to 9 ink. Spend 3 for Sisu. Spend 1 for Diablo. And then, yeah, just spend 1 to move Sisu into library. Yeah, so we're just trying to play down a lot of stuff here. My opponent plays a Maui and the Gotho to take out the library because the Maui has Rush. All right, and then they quest the Rapunzel, go to 13. Yeah, the library is just putting in so much work here. They play Lumiere, giving all the characters +1 attack. So I feel like here, I may just want to B prep again, right? I don't know if I have it in my hand. Probably do with how much that we're drawing. So my opponent still has tons of cards in their hand though, right? If I start questing out here, I probably just have to B prep. They have, what's that, 3 cards in their hand, 4 cards in their hand, yeah. So 6-2 quest for, no, we take out the Rapunzel. So I'm not B prepping here if I take out the Rapunzel. Maybe I don't have it in my hand, not sure. Or we're banning them to play more cards before we B prep. Because Rapunzel quest for 2, so I don't want to deal with that. We double quest with the Diablo, spend 4 for a Fox, bounce the Snake, or the Sisu, take out the Gotho, play the Sisu back down, and then play a Broom back down as well. Yeah, we just have so many cards in our hand. So we're matched in lore right now. My opponent just hard plays that Mulan, and then a Maui takes out a Diablo, and then I draw a card with that, and they ink the Mulan. I might have actually kept that Mulan there because then they shift next turn, but we probably want to just take out that Mulan because its effect is pretty good if it gets it off. So I quest 2 with Sisu, go to 15 now, try and get as much lore as possible. We just need 5 more to win. We quest a Diablo and Broom, so go to 17. We ink a Fox, play a Goat, go to 18. Oh, we have the win there. Snake to bounce, go gain a lore, and play Goat back down, so go straight up to 20 there. All right, that is that the 3rd game that we did here? Okay, so we're on to, I think this is the 4th game now, and I apologize for my lighting. I need to work on getting more consistent lighting for these games. And I ink a Brawl, and I play a Chernbox here, pass it back over to my opponent. So my opponent is playing a Ruby Sapphire here, the ink a Tipo, and then play a Develop to look through a deck for some cards. And then, what are we going to do here? I think I'm thinking we ink a Broom, and the decision here is to play a Flynn Rider. Oh yeah, because, and I quest with the Chernbox. So the thing is, if they Tipo or they play Sail, then Flynn will be the highest attack character, so we'll get the 3 lore. If they don't do that and they play a Body, well, that's good for us because they're missing ramp, so they have to play Tipo there to get the ramp. So since we know that they're ramping, yeah, we just go ahead and get the 3 lore with the Flynn because we're the highest character. So here, on turn 4, I've actually played a Ruby Sapphire deck that ran Super Goof, which is pretty scary, but I think I still take the risk here and go ahead and just quest out with the Flynn, because most of the time Ruby Sapphire runs Tala, which will take over the highest attack character. Play that library and just quest out for 2, and I don't banish the Chernbox. That was a mistake, I think. I think definitely we should have banished the Chernbox there. So my opponent just plays a How Far I'll Go, which is actually really good. So they did not have Tala. How Far I'll Go is also a normal line for Ruby Sapphire, but now in a Tipo trades with the Chernbox, which was a huge mistake by me. But Flynn is the highest attack character on the table, so we gain 3 lore with Flynn. We get another lore with the library going up to 10 already on turn 3, which is insane. I play another Ruby Sapphire deck as well, also getting a 10 lore on turn 3, thanks to Flynn. Flynn's just really good for this specific matchup here. We ink a Crab, and then we do 1 for a Chernadogs. Quest with the Flynn, go to 11, spend 2 to move both of them to library, and we just pass here. Yeah, we're just trying to quest out. So now my opponent's going to have enough ink to play a Maui, and they just asked her to do that. And they rush, take out the Flynn, so Flynn's done here. And even if we didn't quest with the Flynn, the Maui would just have the highest attack anyways, so the Flynn's not really doing anything, so I just quested out with it. I think it's fine. And they ink a McDuck Manor, go up to 6 ink, because they're ramp, and we're at 4 still. We get 1 little library, so we're trying to just go for the win here. Quest with Chernbox, banish, draw a card for the library, draw 1 for Chernadogs. Just tons of cards. You're never running out of cards in our hand unless we're playing like this card, where we still have like a rabbit on the table and a Chernadogs to that whenever they're banished, we can still draw. We spend 3 for a Sisu, 1 for Diablo, and then 1 to move Sisu to library. Not enough ink to also move Diablo to library, it looks like. My opponent inks their Tala now, and they play a Scar with Rush. So the Scar in the Maui take out the library. So Scar is a little bit scary. if he takes out a character with a scar, it can ready back up and challenge again, which could be bad, right? So we quest with the Sisu and Diablo. They just take out the Diablo for free, ready back up, take out the Sisu, which is pretty bad for us. So I think I'm deciding how I should do this. I could just be greedy, quest for 3, go to 16. Because right now there's still no Maui Half Shark, which means that we're a lot safer questing than if we had the Maui Half Shark in play. Because each time the Maui Half Shark takes out a character in a challenge, it can get a action from discard pile out to your hand. So I quest with Sisu here, go to 15. I think just quest with Diablo as well. I think we're just gonna go super hard, super aggro, very greedy here, deciding on it. I think I end up just questing here. So it's kind of a free Diablo kill for them, but I get to draw a card at least. So that's why it's always not gonna be bad. We get the 16 there. And then am I deciding what to play here? So I know my opponent has B or has potential to have B prep because they are playing Ruby Sapphire. So I'm a little bit just hesitant on that. So I inked the Broom. I think I could have played the Broom. We do play a, oh, okay, we play the Fox to bounce back to Sisu, so they can take out the Diablo only there. And then, yeah, Sisu quest for 2, so I want to keep it around. And then my opponent sings How Far I Go. You could make the argument that I should have just taken out one of their characters with the or take out the Maui with the Fox, but I'd rather just quest for one because we're so close. So they take out the Diablo and ready up with the Scar, and I draw for Diablo. And then they heal the Maui with the Popsicle. Play Tala, dig through, and they're probably digging for like a B prep or like a big cease or something like that to help take care of our board. They play a Vision to the future, so they can look at the top 5 cards of their deck, add 1 to their hand, and they're up to 8 ink here. Yeah, so they got a lot of big bodies on the table right now. Ideally, we'll want them to actually be prep their own board. If we can play like some like a goat or like some other good questing characters, if they can't take it out, they'll have to be prep. And what I found is that a lot of Ruby Sapphire decks I've been asking around whenever I play them, they don't run Brawl anymore. So that's really good for us for the Flint Rider, because without the Brawl, they're just trying to ramp up as quick as possible, but we're also an aggro deck, although we're also like a mid-range deck and a late game deck. Being aggro deck allows us to really just go really hard in the beginning, and without the Brawl, they can't take out the Flynn. So I think we just quest here, go to 17. A lot of them have Pirate's Life as well. We play the Sisu back down. And then we play Diablo. So we have lethal on table. We can gain 4 lore if everyone survives in quests. And then what else do I do here? I feel like, do I have a B prep in my hand? I don't know if I have a B prep in my hand or not. We passed there, not inking. So 6 ink. We did not ink anymore. We have 4 lore on a table. And 3 lore with a non-exert character. So they have to do something. They have to play something else to get rid of those characters there. So my opponent gets up to 9. They play B prep, yeah. So they quest with the Tala, and they just, oh no, they sing a B prep with the Scar. Yeah, so that's really good. So they sell all their ink so they can play a Tamatoa and a McDuck Manor. And McDuck Manor is rough for us, but I think we're so far ahead, it does not matter. Spend 4 for a goat, get a lore. And do we have a bounce? We just need a snake or something. We ink Flynn. 3 for Fox. Oh no, for a library. Okay, so we just have a lot of threats here, right? They have to take out the goat and the library, and it's going to be a tough position for them. They need to like rush into a library, but even then, they won't be able to take out the goat if they play like a Maui here at all. Take out the library with the Tamatoa and the Maui. Goat would just quest for 1 and would at least play. We get to 20. So they really need to get into a Pirate's Life here to really do anything. They play a Popsicle. Draw for the Popsicle, and then yep, I know my opponent runs Maui Half Shark in their deck as well, but I think so they just take out the library there, and then yeah, that is GG. Yeah, so I just played another goat there. Yep, so we got another game there. All right, and then we're on to the 5th and final game that I recorded throughout this testing for Ruby Amethyst. And this is actually the last game that I played with it. I was looking at the Pixelborn ladder, and I knew if I won this game, because I was so close to platinum, I knew that if I won this game, it would put me into platinum there. So I was like, okay, let's record this last game going into platinum. So I'll give a huge shout out to my opponent. They have a really cool Cheshire Cat mat there that we're talking about, and they're really friendly. And they have a really cool deck. So this is actually the only deck that I played throughout that win streak that was not like a regular meta deck, or like a common deck that I played before. This deck was entirely like homebrewed by my opponent. Very, very fun. It was a combo deck, but the combo hit, and it was really, really scary. So my opponent is on the draw here. And we're just doing our mulligan, shuffling back up. Alright, so my opponent inks a strength, and then they play Robin Hood. So Robin Hood can always shift into the 3-drop if they have 3 ink, so we want to try to get rid of it if possible. It's always going to be a big threat. And then I'm thinking of what to do here. Probably deciding what to ink is the hardest thing. So that tells me I have a lot of uninkables. Every time I take a long time to ink, it's because I have a lot of uninkables. And I think I remember here, I mulliganed into 2 B preps. I think I had a B prep in my hand. I mulliganed it away, and I drew 2 up. I believe this game was the one that I was just stuck with the B preps there. So we're not doing anything until turn 7, basically. So I ink a snake, and I play chernadog. So I don't know if I'll be able to ink every single turn this game because of those uninkables. But we want to try to keep drawing up so we have more ink to ink. The opponent plays this really cool Mickey Mouse here, and they quest with the Robin Hood. So a lot of steel decks have really good aggro. So I probably want to take out the Robin Hood there so they quest less and they can't shift it. But Mickey, if he banishes a character in a challenge, he can play a character for free from his hand. The Mickey's only 1/1 though, and it's uninkable. So, you know, it's a little bit difficult, but if you can banish a character in a challenge, that effect is insane there. So I just take out the Robin Hood, I trade with it with a chernadogs instead of questing, because I feel like my opponent's going to aggro a little bit, and I'm a little bit worried about them getting a lot of lore. So I don't know what their deck is exactly. And then we do Moana and just play 2 Diablo there. So I'm feeling okay because Diablos aren't exerted, right? So my opponent can't challenge into it, but I want to make sure I never quest because I don't want to play like a crazy body or something like that, right? So we're at 2 ink here. And this is the craziest thing. I did not even know about this combo. I think it's really cool. Huge shots against my opponent for this deck. So they ink a beast, tragic beast there. They spend 3. They play a One Last Hope, so Mickey can attack ready characters because he's a hero. He takes out the Diablo for 1, plays a Raya. A 7-drop Raya with resist 2, challenger 3 on turn 3. So we only have 2 ink right now, and he got down to 7 cost Raya. And we have no way, even if we ran other removal in our deck like a Dryfire, we're still doing nothing for 3 turns until we get that Dryfire, right? But I don't even have Dryfire in this deck. So basically B prep is kind of the only way to get rid of the Raya, unless we can play like a crab, bounce it back with a rabbit. But even then the resist 2, bounce it back with a fox, I mean. But even then the resist 2 with the Raya means that we won't even be able to take out the Raya. Yeah, insane body. And if we quest out, each time the Raya banishes the character in the challenge, they draw a card. So my opponent's only down like 2 cards in their hand, but they're gonna draw a bunch of cards there with the Raya if I'm questing. So I can't even quest now. And if they have more One Last Hopes, they're taking down everything, right? If the Mickey gets another One Last Hope and takes out another character, like that Diablo that I probably should not have played, we are entirely done, right? So I quest with the Diablo, and I think I bounced it back, which is why I did that. Yeah, play a fox to bounce it back and take out the Mickey. Yeah, we have to take out the Mickey there. So I think the problem there that I didn't want to do that was because if the Ride takes it out, then they get to draw a card. I don't want to draw more cards, but there's nothing we can do. Sorry about the camera shaking. That's Sesame, my cat. She's running, she's havocing over at the table there and the tripod and everything. So we stabilized, and then, yeah, I mean, Rise can draw another card, and with resist 2, she'll only take 2 damage from the fox, which is pretty bad. They spend 3. Oh yeah, remember they play a One Last Hope there. So Raya has resist 2 with the One Last Hope and 2 innate 1. So it resist 4, takes no damage, taking out the fox, and they draw a card. So we did not take out the Mickey there. They could play One Last Hope on that Mickey, and then taken out the Diablo again, and then they would have got another big body for free on the table, which probably would just end the game at that point. They have 3 cards in their hand, but that Raya, I mean, we just can't do anything. It's only turn 3 or 4 right now, right? So tough spot. We just hard cast a Friends. Probably digging for cards to ink. We ink a Friends and play Diablo because of the B preps clearing our hand. And you know, if they take out Diablo, it's okay. We'll draw more cards and then we can try to ink more. We just need to get the ink up to 7. So if something like this happens for this deck, we are basically just relying on getting ink up to 7 and then trying to recover from there. So, you know, we are the aggro deck, but right now we are the control deck, right? We're not able to do anything until we get higher ink. And there's no ramp, so it's not like Sapphire. They play I forgot, a Bagheera. Yes, that's what it's called. I've never seen that card played against me before. Its effect is if it's banished during my turn, the opponent's turn, then it deals 2 damage to all of the opponent's characters. So kind of like a grab your swords, basically. Quest for 2, it's a 4/3 body, I believe. And then I'm just asking my opponent what it does, because I have no clue what it does. But the thing is, both my opponent's characters quest for 2. So we're kind of in a best situation here. Then gain Law Lore pretty quickly right now. And then it's back over to our turn. We have the Diablo. We ink a Brawl, because I can't brawl in their big body anyways, and I just passed. An option would be, if I didn't have ink, to just run the Diablo into the Raya, because then they won't get a card draw because it's banished during my turn. I can just draw another card and try to ink, but I guess because we had the Brawl, we just inked it. Should not ink the Brawl because of that Mickey there. I need to take out that Mickey again. So that Mickey, if it takes out another character, they get to play another big body for free. And they don't even have the ink for these characters, right? They don't have 5 ink right now, so the Raya is just still crazy. So you play a Crab, give the Diablo +3, and then I run into the Bagheera. Yeah, so 2 damage on the Crab is fine because it stays alive, and I draw a card with the Diablo. And hopefully we can ink. Hopefully we're not stuck with uninkables. I think I was pretty cluttered with uninkables this game, actually. Possibly having... If I don't ink here, I'm definitely... Okay, we got the Flint, so that's good. Okay, so we inked the Flint here. And I go on to 6 ink. So 1 more ink for that B prep to help turn this game around for us. Not really, because my opponent has a lot of cards. Or, how many cards? I think they still have 2 or 3 cards in their hand. We want to B-prep when the opponent has not a lot of cards in their hand. They quest for 3 and they just pass here. So maybe they got some bad luck, or maybe they just anticipating the B-prep. Yeah, they're probably just anticipating the B. I think they were anticipating the B-prep. So I think it's a good play by them. Because if I B-prep here, yeah, they knew it was coming. So I quested the Crab. The moment I quest the Crab, your opponent knows I'm going to B-prep. So they lose their board, but now they have 3 cards in hand, and they can try to recover off here. They're at 10 lore to R2, so we really have to do a lot of controlling here to deal with my opponent's board. Yeah, so the Raya thing kind of wore off now, but still really, really cool combo there with Mickey into a Raya. Yeah, if they had another big body, they could have played that as well, but Raya's the highest cost one, I think, with 7. And then, because I know they inked the Beast to play Raya, they could have also inked the Raya to play the Beast. That might have been better, because Beast would have drawn a lot more cards, but if I challenge into Beast and give it damage, they won't be able to draw anymore, so that's probably why I went for the Raya, for the card draw with Raya. So I just play another B prep. Yeah, because I was stuck with B prep, so I don't want them drawing more cards with the Beast. If they have no damage and the turn begins, Beast can draw them a card. And we ink, play Moana. So we at least try to pretend to threaten them with the 3 body. And they play another uninkable Mickey there. That was a little bit different. If it exerts, you can play a character with the reduced cost. So that is pretty cool tech as well. I love those Mickeys. So I spend 3, play a library, spend 1, move Moana there, quest for 1, go to 3, and then I think I just pass here. Yeah, I just pass, right? I think I passed and forgot to click. Yeah, I forgot to click pass. But it's my opponent's turn right now. They play Jafar, and then they pass back over to me. So right now I'm thinking, man, their deck is crazy. I don't know what they're gonna do, and I haven't. So I quest with the Moana, and then I think they reviewed their other color through their ink. And I just hard played Sisu to get rid of that Mickey. I think I wasn't sure what their second ink color was. And because they play a lot of stew cards, I should have been paying more attention. I think they inked something that showed the other color, but I missed it. And I'm like thinking, do they have that Shift Jafar? Because if they Shift Jafar and then they Whole New World, then they get 7 lore. And then they play Morph there. Okay, so then they review that they are Emerald. I think they inked it Morph earlier, but I may have forgotten. But yeah, there's tons of steel there. The steel cards are really good, especially those Mickeys. If they can get their combo off, right? And they just cross with Jafar. Yeah, so they're definitely not playing the other Jafar. So I have 1 in hand, and I draw for turn. So just 2 cards in my hand here. And then I think my opponent's at 12 lore, so I just play down all my characters, and I move everyone to the library. So we're going to draw so many cards here. Moana quest for 1, because her ink has dried. And then Sisu, I think we take out the Jafar here. I'm thinking about if I should quest, because 3 quests is very, you know, enticing. But we just take out the Jafar here. so that they can't quest out, because if they quest out with that board, they go to 15. Very bad, and the Moana cannot challenge, right? So we just take it out, and then their Moor can just take out the Sisu, which kind of hurts. But we'll draw a card of the library at least, and we just want to play the slow game here and try to control my opponent's board, right? So we're playing more of a late game style here. My opponent plays a Beast, very bad for us, and then the Morph takes out the Sisu. And we draw, and my opponent passes back over. Okay, so this is a bad situation because if the Beast has no damage there and it stays in play, oh, I forgot to draw for turn because I draw for library Sisu, and I told my opponent, sorry, I forgot to draw for turn, so I draw for turn as well. We quest with the chernadogs, draw 2 more cards there, so now I have 4 in hand from 0, so that is crazy. And my opponent will draw another card with the Beast if it doesn't have damage when the turn begins. I quest out, go to 12, and then we do 1, play a Broom, 1 to move Broom to the library, and then we pass. So we still have, I think, 2 or 3 cards in hand there. And my opponent drew 2 cards there, right, for turn and for the Beast not having damage. So that Beast is just a really, really good card. And I think my opponent is trying to decide what to do. This is a pretty pivotal turn in the game. We're both at 12 lore. So at this point, it's not really like who's the aggressor anymore. It's just who can finish out right now and try to hit 20. And yeah, I have the library, and then I can also quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, go to 16, 17, right? So my opponent needs to do something about my board right now. So Beast probably has to challenge. It is 3 attack right now and 5 willpower. It gets more attack if it has damage. Current does not have damage. So they spend, it looks like they're spending 5 there. I feel like I would probably try to go a little bit wider. Where are them? So they play a Robin Hood, Champion of Sherwood, and they only have 5 ink. I think just having a lot of uninkables made it difficult for them to ink a lot, and not having a large art engine. I remember asking my opponent if they had a whole new world. I was very worried about the whole new world. So yeah, if they had the Raya sing a whole new world, that would end the game. That would have been crazy on like turn 2 or 3, because they're down like 2 cards in their hand, and we still have like our full, like, 6 or 5. So my opponent just quests with the Beast. They're trying to gun it, because if the Robin Hood takes out a character and tries to get 2 lore, so we quest out here for 4, and then we do 7 here for a B prep. That's the 3rd B prep here. So we drew into 1. We had 2 of the mulligans, and then my opponent's like, "How many B preps is that?" I was like, "Yeah, that's 3." So we're fortunate to get draw into a B prep at some point with those card draws there. We ink 1. Play a Magic Broom and move the Broom to the library. So we still have control right now of the board, which is really good because we can quest and we get in our passive lore of the library. My opponent plays a Return of Hercules and then play a Raya. And I can also play a card for free from my hand, which is a going up to 18. And yeah, that is the game there, because then we just quest out with the Broom and get a passive lore of the library. Yeah, so that is the last game there. Going up to Platinum on Pixelborn Connect with a crazy 15-game win streak. With my wife's deck. I'm really excited for it, and my wife played it too. She likes the deck a lot as well. I think I'm probably done with Pixelborn Connect, at least with trying to climb the ladder, because I spent that whole entire day doing nothing. I basically just played tons and tons of games, and yeah, we did not do any errands. We weren't able to do anything. Not the best for sure. Yeah, so I think I need to cool it with just playing tons of games on Pixelborn. It's pretty addictive. So yeah, we have the budget to Ruby Amethyst deck, $67 for the whole entire deck. And then yeah, just showing off the win streak there. I'm very proud of it. Even though we're just playing online, it's pretty chill. But I was happy to be able to test out the deck and see that Ruby Amethyst is still very good right now. Heading into set 8. This is set 7 to set 8 right now. Set 8 comes out in like I think 1, 2, 3 days. So crazy that this late in the game, Ruby Amethyst is still so good. And yeah, I mean, the draw package, the attrition, late game, mid range, early game aggro, it's just totally insane. So yeah, let me know down in the comments, what do you guys think of Ruby Amethyst? Is it still a top deck? Will it remain that way? I personally think that Ruby Amethyst is still going to be a top deck, going into set 8. And honestly, we can still just run a budget deck with all the older cards. We don't even need in the newer cards. for the newest sets, and I think it'll still do really well, at set champs, stuff like that on Pixelborn Connect. So yeah, that is the deck breakdown and the deck showcase here for a budget Ruby Amethyst deck. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is it still the best deck in Lorcana? And I'll see you guys all in the next one.